Will China and Japan dump their US bonds? And what would that mean? And could that happen? And would that happen? When the United States government needs money, they borrow it. They borrow it from places like China and Japan, but also from investors like us who buy US bonds. And some point down the road, they will pay back the money they borrowed with a little bit of interest. And it's seen as a very safe investment because it's backed by the United States government. But now, because of Donald Trump and his trade policies, people are really, really worried that China and Japan, who hold trillions of dollars of US bonds, are going to say, enough of these games, we're done, dump all the bonds. But there's a couple problems with this scenario. One being that these countries like China and Japan hold a lot of US bonds to stabilize their own currency and their own economies. So dumping all of our bonds wouldn't just hurt us, but it would also really, really hurt them. Generally speaking, the United States markets are really, really, really stable. Where else can you go if you're China and Japan to park potentially hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars in something that's viewed as the largest economy in the world? You can't go really anywhere else. And finally, it would also just cause a lot of chaos in the global economies, global markets as well, would sell off, take a pretty big hit. They don't want to do that. So if they dumped a lot of their US bonds, it would devalue the price of these bonds, but they would also still own a lot of bonds, which would, in a roundabout way, really hurt their own investment. So it would be like setting your house on fire to get back at your neighbors. Why would you do that? But it is a great threat. Back off on those tariffs or we'll do it. We'll do it. When bond prices drop, yields usually go up. Now, you might be thinking, wait, aren't yields kind of like dividends? Wouldn't a higher dividend be better? Why is everyone so upset about the yield going up? That's great news, right? Not really. Now, if you're an investor, this is great. Your yield goes up, you make more money, but for the borrower, which would be the United States government in this scenario, that wouldn't be so good because the cost to borrow goes up. You don't want that because that would mean more national debt, which we're trying to lower. So why would this, look, the whole common theme of this video is why would they do that? It's not going to happen. But to the flip side of this conversation, again, from the perspective of an investor, higher bond yields means a safer, higher investment. Why would I be in the stock market, which can be more volatile, especially during times of economic instability or tension or conflict like a trade war? So I'm going to dump my stocks. I'm going to buy bonds. So then the stock market takes a really big hit. Not good. Could they dump their bonds? Of course. Maybe they're even selling a little bit right now. Maybe it's part of a strategy. Maybe it's kind of a threat. But are they going to go in and dump everything? No. Look, you should know something about content creators. They're going to try to scare you because the more they can scare you, the more you watch their videos, the more money they make from the creator fund, or even just for their own ego. They get to go to their friends and their family and say, I'm going viral, I'm getting all these followers. So you're going to see a lot of people saying, is this going to happen? Because it's a great scare tactic to keep you on their channel. So you follow them and you watch their videos and you engage and you get really scared and they make money and maybe they even sell a course or something like that. But I would be very, very, very surprised if this actually happened. Oh, and by the way, I have a huge ego and I love it when my videos go viral. So if you've made it, smash that follow. Thanks for watching. See you later.